Army Football Media Day 2013. Rich DeMarco joined by the head coach of the Black Knights beginning his 5th season, and that's Rich Ellerson. Coach, just set to begin preseason camp, and it must always get exciting this time of year with the season just a few weeks away.
Well, a good month away. Actually, we open a month from tonight, and it is exciting. We've had most of our upperclassmen back for a few days, some for over a week. This is fun. Tomorrow we'll get on the field and actually start doing a little bit of football. Obviously, the hard work and the preparation began months ago. This is just the next evolution, the next step in their development. Couldn't be more proud of where they are. We've had a great summer, the best summer we've had since I've been here in terms of, not only doing all the things and having all the experiences you'd expect a cadet to have in the summer based on their class, but also they've held on to more of their gains that they worked so hard for in the off season, and we're much closer to that football profile physically than we've been maybe at this point in years past.
That quarterback, you have to go replace a 4-year starter, Trent Steelman. I know you have some quarterbacks in the mix there. How do you feel about that position in the competition?
Well, very competitive. We felt like AJ came out a little bit ahead in the spring, but Angel acquitted himself extraordinarily well, and that will be competitive going into training camp. That's not to say that Cody Jackson or Kelvin Hagenbach-White can't still get in the middle of that, especially Kelvin. Kelvin didn't have much of a spring. He got hurt a little bit early on and missed most of it. So I'm anxious to see, we're still anxious to get him evaluated and find out he fits into that mix. But as I say, AJ was the guy on the front of the line at the end of spring, and that's where we'll start.
What are you looking forward to most in preseason camp? Is there a specific position, side of the ball that you either want to see improvement, or you think improvement's going to be key to the start of the season?
Well, yeah, when you're a head coach and you're going into training camp, I think the thing that we've talked about, the thing that we've been jumping up and down on the table trying to put a voice to, is we have to do a better job of establishing a way to practice that we can carry into the academic year. One of our challenges, of course, is there's so much on our cadets' plate that I think that we have been guilty at times of being casual in the practice environment, allowing something less than precision and attention to detail be at the core of everything we do. We see that as a real opportunity. We just close the gap there, like we have in some other areas. And I think the fact that we're a little bit older, that we have juniors and seniors, that makes sense. The guys have enough turns under their belt. They can see that opportunity. They can see what the challenge is in the practice environment here, to go in there and have a tremendous sense of urgency to be in the now and get better and be intense regardless of the speed of the drill. It's one of those things. It's not only full speed, and it's not only intense, and it's not only right when it's all go. If it's a walkthrough, you can carry that virtue into that space. And if we can do that, you're going to see, like I say, we'll measure that by saying the ball's not going to touch the ground. There are 0 procedural penalties on either side of the ball, and an assignment fidelity. You're going to have a lot of guys everybody, I should say, not a lot of guys, everybody with their eyes and their feet trying to do the right thing. And that's at a higher, in the hierarchy of priorities on the practice environment, that's got to be higher. It's more important than running a lot of different plays or a lot of different coverages. It's guys being precise and in the moment, and so that when we get to the game on Saturday, we're not trying to have some out-of-body experience. We're not trying to do anything that we haven't been doing all week. And I feel like when you're a younger team, a younger cadet at Westwood, that's especially challenging. You've got so much on their plate. They're just trying to manage so many different things that we were vulnerable to that. That's not an excuse. I mean, we still have to find a way to get that done, but that's our war cry, if you will, going into training camp. So if you're asking about what my number one thing coming into training camp, is really not so much about a position or a side of the ball. It's about a way to practice and to reinforce those things that we expect in Army football to do with great poise and precision, and to do it routinely throughout the season. That'll be on display on every Saturday. See if I get it done.
No doubt about that. And Rich, as a head coach, you have a couple new coaches on staff this year, and you've been through a spring. Tell me about their perspective and maybe how that's going to affect things and affect shaping this team.
Well, and not only do we have a couple of coaching changes, we shook up our coaching staff. And again, any place I felt like going into this spring and coming off a tough year, an emotional year, anything we could change, anything that we could productively change, or if it was even close, we changed, and that gave that sense of newness. Challenged everything we were doing. Obviously, a lot of what we do in the practice environment, much of we validated over the years as being exactly right. But there were some places we could go and find, hey, there may be a better way to do this, or there may be, maybe not. But if it was close in our mind, we said let's try it. Let's shake this thing up. And I think that helped our coaching staff. I know it helped our players. Just that sense of newness. And you mentioned some of the new guys. Wayne Moses comes in, and Wayne is going to be working with those guys that touch the ball. Obviously, he's working with the running backs, but anybody on offense who touches the ball. We talk about that attention to detail with the football. He's coached some of the best backs in our business at the college and professional level. He has great credibility with the guys. He knows exactly what right looks like, and he won't tolerate anything but. And I expect that picture of perfection to not just be with the running backs, but anybody who touches the football on our team. Our offensive line coach has changed, and Tom Seamy obviously has been the head coach at our prep school. He couldn't be more intimate with what we do offensively. He has instant credibility with our players because he coached so many of them successfully at the prep school. They love him and they believe in him, and they've got off to a great start this spring. We add Todd Spencer to the equation. Todd is again, if you were going out in the world of college football looking for someone who had expertise with our style of play, you couldn't find a guy that has more background with the challenges that our offensive line, especially our tackles, face. So that was another great addition. And again, Mayor Chadahari coming also from the prep school. And the same thing, for 2 years with the prep school, doing a great job. He works with those Rovers and Sams, tremendously detailed football coach, finds things that help the program that you never thought of. He's got that knack for standing back, knowing what's needed and stepping in and doing it. And again, great credibility with so many of our players because he coached them at the prep school and coached them successfully. So a great chemistry, as well as some newness and some dynamic input that I think can show up on Saturdays.
Well, Rich, we appreciate the time, and like you said, 1 month away from that season opener against Morgan State here at Michie Stadium. Always a pleasure.
Get back in the moment, Coach. We practice tomorrow.
Well, you did mention it was 1 month from today. You did mention that, but Coach, hey, thanks again for the time. We look forward to this season.
Thank you.
That's Army head coach Rich Ellerson here at Army Football Media Day 2013. Black Knights in the practice field tomorrow. Open up against Morgan State at Michie Stadium in 1 month. Could you believe it? Army football right around the corner. At Army Football Media Day 2013. For Night Vision, I'm Rich DeMarco.